Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing a highly requested tutorial on how I do my intersecting braid pattern. I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to start by sectioning out her leave out. I also left out a small portion in the front to give her a more natural look and added versatility, allowing her to style her hair in multiple ways. Clearly she has a lot of hair to work with. I'm still going to add braiding hair to reinforce her braids for added security. Because I'm going to be intersecting her braids, it won't be necessary to braid all the way to the end. You'll see in a second. I prefer to intersect my braids because I simply hate the idea of having to stitch down a whole bunch of loose ends after completing my braid pattern. It can be very time consuming. Trust me, I've done it and it's very tedious, especially when you don't want to create any lumpiness. So now I'm going to combine these first two braids together. Later on, after completing our braid pattern, we're going to stitch down these two braids to the braids in her nape area. When braiding, I always keep my sections very small and neat. Small braiding patterns can be time consuming, yes, but that's the most important factor. With the right foundation, your installation will have great structure for a longer lasting weave. I just hate to see stylists do big and bulky braids just so they can slap a big net over it, allowing them to stitch anywhere. At this point, I'm going to begin intersecting the braids. I'm going to take the last braid and intersect it with the current braid and combine them together. A close-up of what the first intersected braid looks like. Be sure not to pull in the braids too tightly because you don't want to create any additional tension. Again, I'm going to take the last braid and intersect it with the current braid and braid them all together. So I'm taking the last braid and intersecting it with the current braid and combining them together. I'm going to repeat this technique until I reach the opposite side of her head. Please keep in mind that I don't always do my braid patterns the same way. I always make adjustments depending on the client's needs. Sometimes different hairstyles present different braiding methods. This video simply demonstrates a standard way of how I do this braid pattern. We are halfway done. Here you can see closely of what the braids look like so far, and later on we're going to stitch down these first two braids. Let's keep it moving and we're going to keep intersecting this same old braid here. At this point, I'm repeating earlier steps I did when I started her braid pattern. I'm combining these two braids together as I did in the earlier part of the video. I'm going to complete her braiding by attaching the following braids all together. You'll see what I mean in a moment. we are almost done. Listen closely. I'm taking these two tails and intersecting them with this last braid and combining them together along with the first 4 braids. Sounds kind of confusing, right? This way, I don't have a whole bunch of loose tails hanging over after I'm done. We are done, and so far we only have 2 braids left over that I'm going to stitch down to the other braid. Here is the finished braiding pattern, and as you can see, it is nice and flat. Stay tuned for part 2, the installation.